All right, please introduce yourself, state your name and DOC number for the record.
Victor Durden, 44 47 54.
Hi, Victor. My name is Brendan Kelsey. Along with me is Miss Bonnie Jackson and Miss Cheryl Knotzel will be your panel. Explain the process to you, read some information to the record, have a parole interview, ask you some questions. You can respond. At the end, you can make a statement. We'll take a vote. You understand the process?
Yes, sir.
And see you have counsel here, Mr. Lancaster. Good to see you.
Good morning, Mr. Kelsey.
We have Miesha Moore, Vera Carter, Anisha McMillan, Savon Moore Cage, and Joseph Landix. And we'll have people speak at the appropriate time. Victor Durden, DOC number 444754, your third class offender. Parole eligibility date 8/1/2021, good time date 3/12/2049, full term 3/7/2050, 49-year 6-month sentence for armed robbery. Does that sound correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Would you answer Ms. Jackson's questions, please?
Good morning.
Good morning, man.
Are you nervous?
Very much so.
I'd like to take a deep breath. Okay, just relax. How old are you? How old are you?
48.
And how
48,
long?
man.
And how long have you served on this crime?
23 years and 6 months.
So you're about 25 when you committed this crime?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, let's talk about who you were 23 years ago. You actually lived in California, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You grew up there,
Yes, ma'am.
but you had relatives in Shreveport, family in Shreveport.
I had a couple of friends that came down here at the time.
But did you have any family in Shreveport?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And so you came down with these friends. Well, let's back up from that. Tell me what was going on with you when you were in California. Did you graduate from high school?
Yes, ma'am.
When?
In 92.
Okay. I see that you were you got a conviction as a juvenile in LA for attempted murder, and you served time in LA for that. You were age 15 at that time. So when did you have time to complete high school?
Well, out there they have a lot of you can makeup classes, continuation classes, and such like things like that.
Well, I mean, let's back up some more. How is it at age 15 you found yourself incarcerated for attempted murder?
I was out there running with the wrong group.
Well, wait, let's stop. I hear that. I can't tell you the number. You were the wrong, okay?
Right.
They were running with you.
Right.
So you were the wrong group, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so my question is, why were you the wrong group? Why were you out there? Why weren't you in school and doing normal things that a 15-year-old does? So tell me about that. And you know, don't try to sugarcoat it. Don't try to, I was a judge for 28 years. I've listened to a lot of stories, and I'm pretty good at seeing through most of them. I need to know. So how you were, at 15 already involved in something as serious as an attempted murder?
Out there running with the wrong type of guys.
Why?
But I was, excuse me,
Why?
wanted to be in. That was the in crowd. Wanted to be with the in crowd.
Well, what was your family? What was your family situation like? Who'd you live with?
Oh, I live with my mom's, or my auntie, things like that. They was present in the home. I just wanted to
Well,
do what I wanted to do, and it cost me.
okay. All right, so how much time did you serve as a juvenile?
A little over 2 years.
Okay. And you're a third felony offender as an adult, so what are your two prior adult convictions?
Marijuana for sales and crack cocaine for sales.
So you were a drug dealer,
Yes, I was selling drugs as well.
okay? Did you ever have a legitimate job?
No, ma'am.
So up until the time you got arrested for this at the age of 25, had you ever had a legitimate job?
No, ma'am.
So yeah, your livelihood was selling drugs and,
Pretty much, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
so what was if you didn't have any relatives in Shreveport, and I grew up in Shreveport, and I know there are a lot of people in Shreveport whose last name is Durden. So that's why I asked you if you had any family there.
It's funny that this question is coming back up because me and my attorney just had a discussion about that, and I have some relatives there, but I don't know them.
Right.
My father, they're on my father's side of the family.
Got you. Okay, but, okay, so you know you had family, they weren't people that you maybe didn't even know of them. So why would you leave LA with your friends to come to Shreveport of all places? It's not necessarily a travel destination. So why would you come down here from Louisiana, from LA to Louisiana with some people? Why'd you do that?
Because we had negative bad intentions on our mind. It was I had some friends that was already out here, and I came out here. I was invited out here.
And the plan was to come here and rob a bank?
Yes, ma'am.
Why Shreveport? Why Louisiana? Why come to rob a bank in Louisiana? They got plenty of banks in LA.
You're right. But it was some friends that was already out here, and I was invited out here to join them.
Okay. Well, perhaps you should have researched the criminal laws in Louisiana before you picked Louisiana to come and do your work.
Yes, that exact question was put on me by my father, and he kind of scolded me real good about that, and I'm hearing it again from you. So
Well, the point is not
it was
to rob
bad.
the point is to not commit a robbery, but if you are going to commit a robbery, there were some places you could have picked where you might not have received the 49.5% sentence. That's all I'm saying.
Right, I understand.
All right, so tell me about the robbery. What was the plan and how was it executed? Tell me about that.
It was a takeover robbery, just to go in, get the money, and get out.
Okay. And there were 5 people total involved in this,
Yes, ma'am.
and 4 went into the bank and 1 remained outside.
Yes, ma'am.
And what was your role in the robbery?
To get to the mini boat and get the money out the mini boat.
All right, so you were one of the ones who went into the bank.
Yes, ma'am.
And what did you do once inside the bank?
Opened a drawer and then opened the they told us where the mini bank vote was located, and I opened it and took and bagged the money up.
Okay. What kind of weapon did you have?
I didn't have one.
How many weapons were used?
One.
Who had the weapon?
A friend of mine.
All right, and after you all took the money, then what happened?
We came out. We tried to exit the bank. It was a fire truck out in the front, so we was on foot. We had to run. The getaway driver, drove off and left us inside the bank.
Funny, but it is. How long after the robbery were you apprehended?
Not long. I was able to make it maybe a few blocks down.
Okay, so almost immediately you
Yes.
got apprehended.
Yes,
Were you the only person apprehended?
yes, ma'am.
What happened to the other three that had gone into the bank with you?
Oh, they had got away.
Okay. And I noticed that when you talked to the police, you told the police that you were the only one who committed the robbery. Remember telling them that?
I didn't hear it.
She said when you talked to the police, you said that you were the only one who committed the robbery.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Why'd you do that?
Because it was at that it was a code of no snitching, no telling.
Right. And they sure didn't come to your rescue, did they?
No, ma'am.
So let's fast forward. Where were you first sent for incarceration? Once you were convicted and sentenced, where were you sent?
To Angola.
And how long have you been here?
Well, about 22 years.
No.
21, about 21 years or something. Yes.
And then where are you now?
Oh, I'm in Angola still.
Okay, so you were in a parish level for a couple of years.
Yeah, about a little over a year. Yeah, about a little over a year.
Okay. So tell me, there's some indication that you were involved in gang activity.
Yes, I was running with a gang out there in California.
Okay. And were the people who came here with you part of that gang?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
So I understand the no snitching deal, but how many of those people have reached out to you over the last 22 years since you've been incarcerated?
The only support that I have gotten is those people that's on that camera.
Right, but I'm talking about the guys that you were so connected with that you protected them. How many of them have reached out to you?
None.
What'd you learn from that?
That I can find myself loyal to the wrong things and the wrong people.
You've only had 14 write-ups since you've been there, which is pretty good. Seen better, but I've seen lots worse. Your last write-up was in 2019, where you got 2 write-ups on separate occasions for disobedience and defiance and aggravated disobedience. So tell us about those incidents in 2019. What was that about?
Miss Jackson, on the record, we have a contraband
Okay.
from
Let me,
February 14th of 2019.
okay, let me, wait, I'm sorry, I was looking at, someone else's, but I showed, did you have a write-up on November 5th of 21?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
And that was for fighting, wasn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
So tell me about that. Because that wasn't too long ago. Tell me about the fighting.
I take responsibility for it.
I know what happened.
Uh,
How'd you end up in a fight? What happened?
well, a guy approached me with some explicit language, and it was going on and going on, in which I was explaining to him to leave, go ahead, and he kept on, and I lost it, and I hit him.
Okay. And what you just punched him with your fist?
Yes, ma'am.
And what was your discipline?
I was just sent to another camp and took 1 day of good time.
So have you taken anger management?
Yes, ma'am. I took it twice. I took it second time after the incident and try to correct.
I do see that you took it the first time in 2011, and then the second time you took it in May of 2022,
Right.
which was
Right.
after.
After the incident, ma'am.
So what did you get the second time and maybe you missed the first time?
To keep my lessons learned in my pocket. That way I'd always have them to identify different aggressions that may come before me.
Okay. And so now you think you know how to use them.
Oh, most definitely, ma'am.
You acknowledged that you were a drug seller. What about drug use? What kind of drugs were you personally using?
Oh, I wasn't really no drug user per se, but I have drunk before, and I have a drink here and there, but I'm not really no drug or drinker.
So you don't feel like you had a problem with substance abuse?
Other than trying to make money off of it, ma'am.
Okay, I got you. I see you took victim awareness in November of 21. Tell us about victim awareness, what you got out of that, and how have you applied that to your situation?
Well, I just learned how to, to have empathy for other people's losses, whatever they might have been going through. Trying to put myself in that same position, just try to have a better understanding of what they may be going through, or what they be feeling.
How about we do this? How about you put yourself in the shoes of the tellers and the
Yes, ma'am.
bank on the date of this incident, maybe any customers that might have been in the bank. Put yourself in their shoes and tell me what they're feeling.
Fear, anger, disbelief.
What do you think they were fearful
Of masked men approaching them, screaming and hollering at them, demanding them to get down, give me the money.
Think
Fear.
they had fear of being killed?
Probably so, yes, ma'am.
And how do you think that fear of being killed would have affected them even after the situation was over?
I'm pretty sure they had some nightmares or you know, just some cold sweats or whatever about the situation.
Do you think they might have been reluctant to continue their employment as a bank teller?
Their job performance,
The job
yes,
at all?
ma'am. They probably always had, yeah, they probably always had that doubt of this making happen again.
What about thinking for a change? Tell us about thinking for a change, but you got none of that.
Yes, well, thinking of change and raising kids is kind of almost like hand in hand. And it's just about identifying problems before they become a serious problem.
Okay. And what do you think you've had 20 plus years to reflect on your life? What do you think your main problem? I said you've had over 20 years to look back over your life, right?
Okay.
What do you think the main things are that you needed to work on?
My thinking, my views, my viewpoints, my the way I perceive life, the way I perceive my life. So in turn of that, I stayed busy. I obtained various trades in which it's no doubt I can be successful on the streets with doing.
Well, let me ask you this. What's the biggest change in your thinking?
Well, I have a job that
That's not thinking, that's an activity. What's the biggest change in your thinking?
what's the biggest change in my thinking is that I think before I do anything. I think I have the way I perceive life is totally different.
Tell me how
I don't.
okay, tell me how you perceive life is totally different.
Because I perceive I see myself as being prosperous in life, and I know I work. I got a serious work ethic, which I respect and I love doing. I have been placed in different job positions here that people account that people that administration relies on. I'm currently working at Prison Enterprise Tractor Repair. I'm responsible for keeping all these tractors going from Prison Enterprise and Angola. They bring material from other.
How does that make, how does all of that make you feel about yourself? How does all of that make you feel about yourself?
It uplifts me for one. You know what I mean? I know that it's that. Oh man, I'm really stuck. Excuse me, ma'am.
All right.
But it's really uplifting, and I enjoy doing it. And it's
So Victor and I had a conversation about this yesterday.
Okay.
And if I may, Ms. Jackson, just prompt him a little bit to remind him of that conversation. It was impactful for me because he talked about finally having a job in which people gave him responsibility, and he found that people respected him because of what he contributed. And that respect goes two ways. And if you could tell Ms. Jackson the same story you told me yesterday.
I'm just no disrespect, ma'am. I got so much juries in me right now. It's unbelievable. But
I know. But I'm trying to pull it out of you, all right? I'm trying to pull it out of you.
I really appreciate what I have done. People.
Is it safe to say you're finally proud of yourself?
Yes, ma'am. Totally.
And that's a good feeling, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Warren, what can you tell us about Mr. Durden? He's a crybaby. I'm sorry. Anyway, say that Mr. Durden has been a model offender since he's been here. He did have that one simple fight in 2021. He was put in investigation segregation, and he only stayed there a minimum of 3 days before he was back at his job of tractor repair, and he still retained his minimum age trustee status. He has taken culinary arts 100 hours. As you spoke of, he did victim awareness, and he also wrote an accountability letter, taking accountability for his actions that he did in the bank robbery. His tiger is low. I do think that Mr. Durden is a changed individual now. I think he's more of a giver than a taker that he was in the past, and that he's compassionate about everything that he does. Well, thank you, Warren. I appreciate those comments. Ms. Felton, that's all I have.
All right, Andrew Hunley.
Andrew Hunley with Louisiana Parole Project, here to confirm today that Victor is a client of our organization. If he should be granted release, he will come to our reentry program for the first phase. During that time, he will go through our life skills training program, have access to our staff social worker, undergo a mental health and substance abuse evaluation, and receive mentorship and case management from our staff, many of whom have been in the same position Victor was in, have rebuilt their lives, and can help them with the roadmap to being successful post-incarceration. Our organization feels very confident in Victor's success based on his overall record, the amount of hard work he's put in on programming, and where he's gotten himself to today. Victor does have an approved ICOTS to California to live with his wife. We think that this is a solid reentry plan for him to come through our program and then to go to California. In closing, I'd like to say, I know this board makes a lot of tough decisions, and you have to oftentimes ask yourself, when's the right time? There is a sweet spot for release. We do feel like Victor, at this point in his life, at this age, he has some good years in front of him. He is at a good place right now. We offer to the board that it's Parole Project's opinion that this is the right time to give him a second chance. Thank you.
Right, we hear it from Ms. McMillan.
So, hello, my name is Asha Durden. I'm Victor Durden's wife. And I have to say, I am in full support of Mr. Durden. He's very positive, encouraging, and uplifting. You hear me okay? Oh. And I have to say, heaven sent. And Victor, he has grown throughout the years. You hear about his certificates and awards that he plans to use once he gets home for his career, his job, that I'm definitely going to stand about to start crying, stand in support with. So I think it's a great opportunity for Mr. Durden to return home.
All right, thank you. Savion Moore. Okay.
Hello, I'm Siobhan Moore Cage, and I'm his older sister. I just want to tell you who I am so that you can know what kind of support system Victor is going to have. So I'm the executive assistant to the city manager, mayor, and council for the city of Hawaiian Gardens. I'm also a family health ambassador for a nonprofit called South Central Prevention Coalition. And I set up health and wellness clinics all over LA County. And I also do substance abuse prevention. I'm the mother of 2 children. My daughter is a news reporter for KESQ in Palm Springs. My son is the CEO of a nonprofit that helps children with behavioral problems called Speak Out Loud. The recent California election, my name was on the ballot, everybody's ballot in the state of California. I was the author that opposed Prop 26. I'm an e-board member for AFSCME Local 36. And I'm telling you all these things because I am connected. I appreciated hearing Andrew Huntley speak. I want to get to know him. If my brother is granted this parole, I'm feeling very hopeful. I want to also be a part of that re-entry process. I am going to be a major advocate for him. I even have an example for you. There was a gentleman named Frederick Moore Smith that was paroled last year in July. I helped him, made sure he had some tools when he got home, before he got home. And now here we are a year later. He is a truck driver, and he's almost making as much money as I am. He's living in a beautiful home in Pomona. And so, I'm a public servant. I'm into community engagement. I'm into community. And what better way to do that than to help my brother? When my brother was taken into custody, he was living with me at the time. And so I just want to let you know that we come from the same cloth. We had the same family situation. Our family was very, our family was kind of broken. We were together, but we definitely had our family issues. There was some drug abuse involved. Neither my brother or myself, we were not involved in drugs as far as using them. But there was a lot of dysfunctionality in our childhood. But if you see who I am today, and you see who my brother is today, and who he can become, I'm so proud of him. That he's remained his trustee status from 2008, that he's taken all these, personal development courses and the culinary arts and cooking for the inmates and for the hospital patients and for, fixing these tractors and doing the electrical work. I mean, he's just accomplished so much. I'm so proud of him. And I know, ma'am, I don't remember your name, but, you ask him all those tough questions. I know that my brother has purpose now. He has purpose, and that purpose is going to make him stop and think, do I want to give up, what I have now? And so I know that he can be a very productive person in society. I am going to be standing by his side. And with me standing by his side, that's many people, because I have people behind me, on the side of me, and I am going to be here for him every step of the way. Yeah.
Thank you
Yes.
so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Would you like to make a statement on your behalf, Victor?
I'd just like to say thank you for allowing me this opportunity. I don't take it lightly. and I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Lancaster, would you like to briefly wrap it up?
Thank you. Mr. Durden is nervous today. I mean, one interesting thing that happens in representing a lot of people who come before you is, as attorneys, we spend a lot of time and a lot of conversation and get to know them, and we hear their stories and their narratives. And in the time of the parole hearing, I sit here and I'm thinking about all of the stories that Victor has told me. And Victor, when he responds to questions, he does tell narratives, he tells stories. And I want to pick up on something his sister said about purpose. And just two quick stories of the many that Victor told me in the time that I've spent with him. And I think that purpose captures where he is now. And it comes through if he told you about his current job, the fact that, you know, he is trusted to drive around the prison in a 2-ton truck out into, you know, the field and the compound and repair, you know, equipment, and the responsibility that he feels with that, the respect that he's given and the trust that he's given for that is something that he gives back. Respect gets respect. He tells that whole story. Another story he told about purpose was when he was working at the ranch house as a cook and had many, you know, interactions with the public who came through the ranch house. And one day, Warden Kane was warden then, and he asked Victor kind of on the spot. There was a youth group that came in, and he asked Victor to speak to them and to tell them his story. And Victor did, but one thing that really struck him about that experience is that it was meaningful to him that the warden trusted him enough to know that he had something to say, some advice to give, because he never felt to be put in that position before. And that changed his way of thinking. And he's got many stories where he sort of found this purpose. But a few other things I just want to mention that haven't been mentioned so far in the hearing. He does have 400 days of CTRP credit. He's not lost any of that. He has had a number of trustworthy jobs at the ranch house, cook in the treatment unit. And with these jobs, he's found meaning and purpose. Of his 14 write-ups, which is a very low number for the years in which he's been incarcerated, 10 were in his first 5 years of incarceration. And so he calced the bulk of those write-ups when he was adjusting to time in prison. If he is released, he's got the support of the Parole Project. And as Mr. Hunley said, he does have an approved out-of-state compact to go to California as well. And for the reasons the evidence that we submitted in our brief, we respectfully request that the committee grant him parole.
All right, thank you. Panel prepared to vote?
Yes.
Ms. Jackson?
All right, Mr. Durden, I'm going to grant you. I think you've done well. Even though I had to wrestle with you to pull it out of you, I think I finally pulled out of you what I needed to know about you. You have an excellent institutional record. You've taken good programming. The warden describes you as a model inmate that has good support systems. So my vote is to grant your parole to the Louisiana Parole Project and then to the approved icons.
Ms. Renata?
Mr. Durden, I do agree. I enjoyed listening to the conversation. My vote today also is to grant to the Parole Project plan and then eventually to California. Good luck to you, sir.
And also to grant your parole to the Parole Project and then to the California icons. So 3 votes to grant today. Your parole's been granted. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.